Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead in East Fork Christmas Tree Farm. Today is March 31st. I am about ready to unload the quad and the spreader from my pickup, and I'm going to be putting some lime on the field. I'll be talking more about that in a little bit. And I have a young man that picked up a bunch of fertilizer as well besides the lime and his pickup, and he's going to be here and help spread it, and we'll talk you through the process. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but I'll just give a quick run through just in case. I have a Brindley spreader that's a tow behind on my quad. Right here, you can set this right here for different amounts of opening. You can see the opening in here so it spreads at different rates. And then the wheels turning, there's what spin the paddle that's underneath and spread it. Just like your little spreaders at home, this is just a little bit larger version of it. So the quad is unloaded, the spreader's hooked up. I'm just now waiting for the young men here that are bringing the fertilizer to show up. I'm waiting for them so I can show them. They have not worked for me on the Christmas tree farm before. Cole has worked for me other places. He's a good worker. But I just want to do a quick explanation on how they're going to spread the fertilizer around the trees. I know there's a lot of people that put them in a spreader like this and just spread it. It's a lot easier that way. But I feel like, especially in areas like this where I have these 2 acres that have smaller trees, I'm fertilizing a lot of space in between the trees where they're not going to use it. I know some people say you put the spreader on there and you go and then it throws it and it hits the drip line and drops, which is where you want to put the fertilizer anyway. But I feel it's more effective to sprinkle it around the trees, around the drip line by hand. We have a small enough farm that we can do that. We're going to be doing about 6,500 trees today of various sizes, from just planted to probably the tallest out here is about 12 feet right now. And so I don't have the lime out here. Let me explain what's going on there. When the boys get up and I get here and get them started on the fertilizing, I have on hold 1,500 pounds of lime that I'm going to be putting on these fields. So the soil's a little more acidic than it wants to be, not way out of balance, but a little bit. So 1,000 pounds per acre does definitely make a difference. Did I do a soil test? Not recently, but we've done soil tests all over the farm and it's pretty consistent. We had to add a little lime on the more mature trees. We got in a hurry, planted these trees, and then realized that we have not added lime. It does take a long time to incorporate into the soil, especially when you're top dressing it, but no time better than the present to get started, start putting that on and letting it work its way in, because this is going to be Christmas trees for years and years and years to come. So yes, it'll take a while to get the lime down, but we might as well get started now. If you go up and down these rows, you'll see all kinds of branches laying on the ground. We just last month had someone finish cutting the handles on this section of the trees. If you look at this, we waited way too long on this tree, and that's a big trunk for such a small tree. Same here. We should have cut the handles sooner, but again, we got them now and we're taking care of it. Another thing is, things don't always go as planned. You can see the weeds starting to come up. It's not bad in this field, but you can see there's a lot of new starts of weeds in here. And we've traditionally sprayed herbicide on spring break, since we're school teachers, which is typically the first week of April. But then we wanted to do it a little bit sooner. Before these really got established and got started, we were planning to do more mid-March. And we've had a guy waiting to do it, but this is again one of those years in the Pacific Northwest. It's just been wet, wet, wet. And if we were to go out and spray any herbicide on here, it would have been washed off. So it looks like towards the very end of this week, we're going to get a break in the weather, and hopefully we will get our herbicide sprayed on the field this year. I continue to get questions about spacing of the trees and what I prefer. And we had a 6 by 5.5 in our original rows, way back there, the taller trees. And I do prefer that, having 6-foot rows going one way so I can pull equipment through it. If I need to, my quad fits through it. I can pull stuff to spray things. On this section, this couple acres of smaller trees that we have here, we did 5 by 5, and I'm getting a little nervous about it. right now, when these trees are small, but still they're 2, 3, 4, and 5 feet tall, there's plenty of room. I'm going to be able to drive my quad, and its wheels will be touching the trees but not hurting them, and it won't be that big of an issue. But when these trees are all 6, 7, 8 feet tall, I do not think that I will be driving equipment through on those 5x5 rows. It's amazing what just one more foot, when we have 6-foot rows going north-south on this farm, we can get the equipment through even with bigger trees. We put buffers on the fenders. I don't know if buffers are the right word, or guards, to keep the branches from getting caught up in the wheels, and it works pretty well. On that note, there are Christmas tree tractors that are designed with a really narrow wheelbase to go up and down these types of rows. I think they sit at about 36 inches. My quad, I needed a multi-purpose vehicle for on my property out in the woods and on the tree farm. So I have a Honda Rancher 360. I purposely bought it. It has enough power to do all I need to do, but yet it has only a 42-inch wheelbase. Once you get up to a 420 and larger, the wheelbase gets wider and wider, and it really makes it difficult for the Christmas trees. Anytime I'm out in the fields and I got time, I try to wander around and just get an eye on things. This tree has some good handles, but there's one main branch that was missed, so we need to get that out of there. Same thing, there's a lot of trees that have good handles but need a little bit of cleanup. Here's a look at the young men that are helping spread the fertilizer for me. This is the first time they've done it for me. They did a good job. I'm recording after the fact, so I can tell you that each of the boys worked 9 hours, so 18 total hours. I did about 2 hours of the fertilizer as well. And so we had about 20 man hours in on our approximately 7,000 trees. We want it around the drip line because that's where all the finer roots are that are absorbing all the nutrients. We don't want it in way out on the trunk or way out here where there's no roots. After giving direction to the boys and watching them for a bit and making sure they knew what they were doing, I had to run into Wilco and pick up 30 bags of lime myself. So that's another 1,500 pounds. I have my quad parked in the far corner. The small trees that you see in the right there is a section that hasn't been limed yet, and so that's what we're going to get done. All right, I was a little concerned when I opened the first bag here. This spreader is really designed for pelletized products, fertilizer and lime. And I've always spread pelletized, but I opened up the bag and I thought these look a little different. I mean, before I opened it, these feel different, and it's powder. I'm like, oh my goodness, am I going to have to take these back? Because I've never spread powder with this before, but it did reasonably well. You could see the white down here. It went less because it's not pelletized. It didn't fall down in as well. But I think if I fill it up with more bags, then the jostling around will keep it down and keep it falling in there. It won't work as fluidly, but it will still work. And actually, as far as getting incorporated into the soil, I think this powdered lime actually spreads a little bit better and does a better job. So I did have to move this back so that the opening inside is larger. You can't see it right now because there's lime on top of it. Oh boy, it's starting to rain. I better do this before it gets wet. Anyway, also, I have this bungee. This is what you have when you have not perfectly functioning equipment. When I push this forward and it starts bouncing, it bounce, and it tends to go back. So I put this here, and I have this bungee cord just to keep a little tension on it to keep it from bouncing back. Just the realities of small-scale farming. I'm not used to this on most of my fertilizer and lime bags. It says easy open feature. We got a pull tab that rips it open. It's kind of nice. I need to get some gloves on and keep this lime off my skin. Next load. Let's open this up even more. As I'm coming back up the row, you can see I'm veering back and forth to avoid small trees that are in the row. If you're going to drive machinery up and down your rows, you need to make sure that when you're planting that they stay in nice consistent rows. My rows are much straighter going the other direction, but this is the long way and easier to drive. I was not aware before I got on the quad how many trees have been planted by our crew slightly out of line, which made me jostle back and forth. Now going down a road that is on our 6-foot centers. You can see there's a huge difference in the ability of the quad to get through it. So with all the horsing around to try to get my spreader to work calibrated for the powder instead of the pellets, it took me about 2 hours to spread the 30 bags, or 1,500 pounds. They were in paper bags. The paper bags are not going home with me. And we're going to be calling it a day, at least on the lime. The boys look like they're only about a third of the way done. They've been 3 hours into spreading the fertilizer. So the quad and the spreader are all loaded back up in the pickup. We're ready to go home. It took about 2 hours to spread the 30 bags, 1,500 pounds of lime. That lime cost me, just so for reference, $8.72 per bag, or $284 before tax. Wait, no, $261 before tax. The 23010 fertilizer was about just under $20 a bag. I ended up paying $581 for the 30 bags of the fertilizer.